Ray. Here's everything we know. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Zach Weinberg.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and this is the Hollywire Tea Party. I'm a huge fan of Tayler Holder. It made me more of a fan to hear that he did this, sticking up for his girl, Charly Jordan. So yeah, you guys, Tayler Holder just dropped a YouTube video titled "A Message to Sommer Ray." Tayler and Sommer were hanging out when Charly Jordan and Tayler Holder first started hanging out a few months ago. Once Charly and Tayler became Instagram official, Sommer spoke to Paparazzi saying she's happy for Tayler and Charly, but knew Charly was lying to her about being just friends with Tayler. Then a few days later, Charly, Tayler, and Sommer were all spotted having dinner with each other. So fans thought the three were fine. Turns out that's not so true, as Tayler called out Sommer in his latest YouTube video. Turns out Tayler and Sommer have a lot of mutual friends, and every time they're on the same place, Sommer makes her really uncomfortable instead of being civil. Tayler wants to keep that. He wants to keep the past in the past, understandably so. Full video later this week, but due to the issue that will be discussed, this had to be said first.
Yes.
So much
And
tea.
also, Charly Jordan just dropped a video with her and Tayler that I believe was probably shot around the same time. And they talked about like how they fell in love, how he asked her out, their relationship, all that kind of stuff. And they do touch upon the crossover without naming names. They are alluding to Sommer. So I have a feeling that Tayler knew Charly was dropping the video today and was like, you know, I need to get my statement out, because I think if Charly's video dropped without Taylor's statement, there would be even more shade thrown at this couple.
Absolutely. Yeah, and to give you guys a little bit more context, if you haven't seen the video, Tayler was he was very frustrated in the YouTube video, and he kind of was just saying how Sommer has been not super supportive of Tayler and Charly linking up. Apparently Sommer thought her and Charly were better friends and that she broke girl code. And it seems like Sommer is just causing drama in Charly and Taylor's relationship. So Tayler just kind of wanted to get his point across and clear the air, because it seems like Sommer is jealous that, you know, Charly and Tayler are dating now.
Jealous or just throwing shade, just kind of like, I kind of get it. It feels very high school. It's kind of like, I think that she probably, I mean, she has to realize that her and Tayler weren't meant to be, but it's really easy to play victim, and it's really easy to it just feels very like high school Mean Girls is what's going on here.
Totally. I totally agree with that. Very high school Mean Girl, very like, let me just stir the pot because I can. And like, I feel like Sommer is super intimidating. Like, I think, that's how I've always thought of her, as like an influencer. I'm like, oh my God, she, for whatever reason, is so intimidating to me. So like, I feel like she knows that about herself and owns it and kind of use that to her advantage. And Tayler, being the sweet Tayler that he is, and sweet Charly Jordan, I think he's just like, yo, like, back off my relationship. Like, it is what it is. And it's been so many months since any of this drama happened. That was like months ago. And now Taylor's happy.
Yeah, but it must still be like occurring in his day-to-day life if he cared enough to put this video out and like address his frustrations with Sommer. So clearly it's still affecting her to this day. Otherwise he wouldn't have put out that video.
It's affecting her because of the hate, the online hate. So their relationship is getting, a lot of people are sending mean comments to Tayler and Charly. So it's affecting them publicly in that way. And then it's affecting them privately for how it is uncomfortable. I mean, Tayler and Sommer have a ton of mutual friends. And so they're always in the same areas together, at the Saddle Ranch, at a friend's birthday, Tayler said in the video, and that he feels that Sommer is going out of her way to make him feel uncomfortable, even doing so much as talking to the mutual friends of them and saying, you know, ignore him, you're my friend, not his friend. And it really is making something, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, they're not just, you know, teenagers and 20-something-year-olds who have this drama. They're public figures. Each of them is their own business person. This just isn't good for their own business too.
Totally. Yeah, and that's just the worst feeling when you go to a dinner or a party and there's that one person who you like don't make eye contact with, and then it's like an elephant in the room the entire night. Like, I totally understand why Tayler is so frustrated. Hopefully Sommer saw the video and she can react to it, and maybe they can all make amends, because maybe it shouldn't have to be that deep.
Yeah, as we report this, Sommer hasn't made a statement that we're aware of. But if you're watching this and you know of a statement, like, let us know.
Let us know.
Do this on the fly here on our lives. But yeah, it also makes you think a lot about the video that surfaced of Sommer Taylor and Charly recently, where they all looked like they were buddy-buddy. Now hearing Taylor's side of it, I think there's a bigger story there. And I don't think that they were all just the three of them having dinner together. I think he was referring to a friend's birthday party that they all went to and they were all there. And I bet you they shot that like second long video to make it look like they're all okay. But a majority of that night is probably what Taylor was describing in his video, very uncomfortable. And the thing he brought up, which is so true, it's like, you know, when you go celebrate a friend's birthday party and it's a mutual friend of you two, it's not about you. It's not about your drama. It's about the friend. And he was feeling that, you know, this drama was taking away from celebrating their mutual friend.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. But also, like, to play devil's advocate, like, I guess I can understand where Summer's coming from. Like, she's probably jealous and like upset that like someone who she thought was her friend is now dating her ex. Like that would almost rub me the wrong way too. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. Gabi and I had said that in the past, actually. Like, you know, when this all went down, we were like, well, as like, I don't know, maybe aggressive as Summer was being, we kind of get it. Because it's like she knew that something was going on between Charly and Taylor, and she ended up being completely right. So I understand, you know, why she's upset. But that being said, if I was in her shoes, I'd be like, I mean, you got, after those beach photos of those two, you got to let it go. Like, it's a done deal.
Move on.
Totally. The beach photos and their YouTube video that they just released together answering questions. I mean, they're just so adorable, and you could tell they're so in love. And I also think a bigger thing too is, I mean, Taylor did also go on to say that he never cheated on Summer. That's not what happened at all. And goes on to explain more of the relationship, which we will get into. But, you know, the other thing too is that, like, if a relationship doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you need to move on. And clearly, if Summer was having issues with Taylor to the point that she was blocking him a lot, and Taylor, if for some reason it wasn't working out, like, clearly, like, they weren't meant for each other, and that relationship wasn't going to work out at that time. And they both deserve to be happy. And I hope Summer can find happiness. And I really hope that we can just let Taylor and Charly, like, you know, enjoy the new beginning of their romance.
Absolutely. They look so happy together. Like, I love this couple.
They're
so
super
here
cute
for
together.
They're so
I mean,
cute.
just because like it didn't work out between Summer and Taylor, it doesn't mean Taylor can't date anybody else for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
Like he's gonna have to move on eventually. Like, it sucks that it's somebody you know, but like, what do you expect? Like, this influencer circle isn't that big. Like, it's not so out of fetch that Taylor and Charly ended up dating.
So true.
And Taylor did clarify in the video, before we move on, he did clarify that Charly and Summer weren't even that close to friends.
Yes, which we do have in there, which to me was mind-blowing, because the narrative that I think we got as an outsider on this, and just from what was in the Paparazzi and what was on Twitter, is we really thought that Summer and Charly were like best friends.
Like
apparently they had only met twice, so they were really more of acquaintances. And I do, you know, I just think that's just so silly. So moving on, Taylor explained that he has been delaying releasing this video and this message for 4 months now, because he thought that, quote, we were grown and we could handle stuff off the internet. As he explains that he cares about everyone and he wants everyone to be happy, and he never wanted to say any of this because he doesn't like bringing up negativity onto the internet. He then went on to go make some main pinpoints, clearing up rumors that have been surrounding his personal life regarding Summer. As Taylor said, quote, I never cheated on Summer. I never unfollowed Summer. Summer blocked me on countless occasions because of our personal problems that we were having. Taylor explains that when you block someone, it makes the other one unfollow you, which is why it looked like Taylor and Summer were always unfollowing and refollowing each other, when in reality, Summer was blocking Taylor, and then they would resolve it, and then they would refollow each other. So that is what's happening. I also remember photos that were archived becoming unarchived at one point. And for a while before Taylor got with Charly, I think a lot of people were thinking that Summer and Taylor had, you know, worked out their problems and this was going to last. And then now this happened. So,
well, there is a solution to this. I'm sorry, there is a solution to this. It's called the mute button. The mute button lets you not see the other person, and then there's no drama. Nobody knows who followed and unfollowed. It's called the mute button. Next time, she should have used the mute button.
Yeah,
so
but
true.
I almost think that they don't use the mute button, because I feel like it is a story when someone unfollows someone and refollows it. I mean, I think at this point they know that all their moves are being tracked, and something as big as that, like, you know, TikTok Room is going to figure that out, and they're going to post it, or you know, or TikTok insiders. They got that. So yeah.
When you block someone too, it's crazy. It takes away all of your engagement ever with them. So like you said, like tagged photos, comments on photos, and that never comes back. So it is interesting to me. TikTok Room is probably like, wait, like if you don't avidly like block people, like you wouldn't know that. you know? But like, I don't know, I've blocked a few ex-boyfriends, so I know. I'm like, where did it all go, you know?
Wait, so all those times that their photos were unarchived, but do you think that was because they had, and then they came back,
Possibly,
so that was just automatic? Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know how extreme blocking was.
It's bad. It's like it erases them from your life.
Totally. So when you break up with a guy, for example, do you delete every picture you've ever posted of him, or do you just like leave them in their memories and they're just way down on the timeline? What do you guys think about that?
I've archived with my last relationship because I felt deleting was like too mean almost. And then I realized like archiving just kind of made more sense because I'm not deleting it. It's there, but it's like just not out for the public to see. Also, my ex was giving me trouble about talking publicly about the relationship, so I didn't want to trace it back of who my ex was. So there we go.
Fair enough.
I have a weird thing. I feel like influencers like Tayler, Charly, Sommer, whoever it may be, might do this as well. But like, I always keep one photo. I don't know what it is. It's like just that memory in my life. I keep one on the feed. So I don't know. That might be weird, but I feel like influencers at times do that too. Like Charli D'Amelio didn't delete all her photos with Chase, or Dixie still has a photo with Griffin. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
But they're still friends. So I think it's different if it's like how the relationship ends. If they become friends, it's one thing, maybe just delete the kissing photos. But if it's like a toxic situation, like this trio seems to be, then you got to just archive them all.
Well, I will say too, everything that had been going on with like now hearing this and now hearing that, I feel like there's no healthy relationship that started off with, you know, a couple blocking and unblocking each other, and now they live happily ever after. So I do hope that people listening to this, and also that maybe Sommer can realize this, that, you know, it didn't work out for a reason, you know, that there was obviously a big problem, a big personal problem that they had that wasn't working out for them. And that is why, you know, they're moving on. And I think Taylor's right that the past should be in the past. You learn from the past, you put it behind you, and you move forward. And that's what he's trying to do with Charly. And I do feel bad for him and Charly that they're getting all this hate, and it's hard for them to move on.
Yeah, especially for Taylor. He's in the middle of it.
And they're in their honeymoon state right now. You know, I also, just to add to what you just said, Gabi, I feel like you should never, like, it's in the past, but you should also never have to try so hard. Like, if you, like that paparazzi video where they're all three hanging out, and that was actually malicious apparently by Sommer. If you have to do that, like, this guy is not for you. He's not your guy. Like, you shouldn't have to go like try to do things for attention like that, you know? So that's another thing that I hope she just realizes, like, Summer's an awesome girl too. And like, she will get hers. It's just not Taylor, you know?
Totally.
Yeah. And when TikToker was posting this too, like, there was a lot of comments of being like, haven't these people heard of phones? Like, why is this, like, why are they airing their dirty laundry out? But if you do watch the whole video, Taylor does explain it. It's like, he's had these conversations. He sent these text messages.
Totally.
It's not getting across.
He didn't want to post that. Like, it took 4 months, like you said, Gabi, for him to finally post that video. Like, this is a long time coming. You can see how frustrated I felt, his frustration in the YouTube video.
Me too.
I haven't even watched this video yet. Y'all, I popped off a flight and now I'm here. I cannot wait to watch this, because Taylor's also like one of the, I will say, out of all, here at Hollywire, we've all met a lot of these influencers, and I will say he is one of the nicest, kindest, not malicious, would never try to go out of his way to, like, you know, put anyone in a negative light. So for him to do this, I feel is a really big deal.
And I don't think he's throwing shade at Sommer. I think he's kind of just explaining to people, because I think he's been getting a lot of hate. Charly's been getting a lot of hate. And I do feel like, I guess, in the process of explaining his truth, it does come off as like he is talking, you know, crap about Sommer. But I think it's coming from, like, he needed to say this side of the story. I feel like so far, you know, Sommer's been openly talking to the paparazzi about their relationship, where him and Charly have kind of been minding their own business. And it does feel like that paparazzi video that we reported on, I believe it was last week, where Sommer was talking to the paparazzi, and she said the thing to them where they're like, what do you guys think about, you know, Taylor and Charly? And she was like, I'm happy for them. And then had to add, yeah, but she was lying. And that seemed to be what really got under
petty
Taylor's skin. And he addressed that. He's like, I just think it sucks. Like, why did she have to add that? Why did she have to say she was lying? Why can't she just say, you know, I'm happy for them, and like move on with her life? Like, so I get it. And I think it's good that he is speaking out. I wonder if this will start a trend of influencers using their platforms to have these very public messages to their ex or to their ex friends or whatever.
It seems a little like immature on her end. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't set the best example, I will say, for like us girls. Like, I just feel like it's immature. I would have never been like, but
Totally.
she's lying to paparazzi. Like, that's just my 2 cents, you know? Like,
It's
I
very
want to
high
be like
school.
better than that.
Yeah.
It's very high school, but then also, you know, to be fair to Summer, right now we are getting a ton of Tayler and Charly's side of the story. We haven't heard what she has to say.
True.
We really are only stringing together her side of the story from a picture, a couple of tweets back in the day, and this paparazzi video. So who knows? You know, there are two sides to every story. I do think though, when it comes to relationships and when it comes to like a public relationship and putting it out there, it can get messy. And I do think relationships are private to some extent. And I do feel for these influencers that are trying to have their private lives, but their private lives are getting in the way of their public lives. And I think this is an example of it.
Absolutely.
And some are like saying stuff to the press and putting out those subtweets. Tayler is now entitled to say his side of the story. So Summer kind of put those seeds. He's allowed to say how he feels. There's millions of people invested in this story. They're public figures. It's not like they're a private relationship and like all their friends need to know their business. Like when there's so many fans and people invested in your relationship, then you're entitled to speak your truth, especially when someone is painting you out to look bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. I'm looking at the comment section right now. It's so funny because we're talking about Summer and Tayler and Charly, and our comment section is talking about Bradison and Doa right now.
Oh my gosh.
Which obviously,
can we have one day without talking about Bradison or Doa?
Well, we do have a story coming to you very soon, but we just did not think that we could talk 30 minutes about about Addison shaving Bryce and them making a TikTok dance together. We do ship Bradison, and we know
what that
more
means,
to come
guys.
with that.
We do.
And the same with Dixie and Noah. We went live with them yesterday. Yes, they are official, and congratulations on their 1 month of dating.
Yes. Okay, so back to Tayler. This is some juicy stuff that Tayler said, so we have to hit it, you guys. So the only reason Tayler is bringing this up now is because of the past drama is creating a lot of problems with his current relationship with Charly, obviously, who is getting attacked a lot on the internet. Tayler's not going to let this slide because he cares a lot about his girlfriend. Tayler says he doesn't like seeing comments Charly is getting that say, oh, be careful, he's probably going to cheat on you as well. Yikes. Then Tayler addresses Summer directly as he said, Summer, you've been asked countless times by paparazzi about me and you, or me and Charly. Granted, you throw the I'm happy for you, then you throw some stuff about Charly being a liar. No one lied. That date that we were on was never a date. Wow. I mean, honestly, like, I'm here for this. Like, I really am. Like, I know this is kind of drama and it's kind of a big deal that he did this, but you have to stick up for the person that you're with. You know what I mean? And especially like Charly's really sweet and she doesn't deserve any shade ever. Like, I have to say, I feel like she's super unproblematic. And I'm just like glad he did this. Like, this is like a man right here, you know?
Totally. And what else is he going to say? He said he's releasing another video later this week with the full story. What else is there to say, Tayler Holder?
I mean, I think the full story would be, I would love for him and Summer to make a video together and both say their statements. I'm seeing a little hate for Sommer Ray in the comments. Look, we're not trying to spread hate to Summer at all. I do believe that she has her own side of the story, which she should say. Yeah. I just kind of feel that from what we're hearing about this, I think that we should be happy for Tayler and Charly. Look, I'm sure if we were all in Summer's position, we would be upset too. But, you know, I really hope that Summer can put the past in the past and move on, because I'm sure there's I think, you know, when a relationship ends, I feel like there's so much possibility for the person who is the brokenhearted, right? You could turn your broken heart into art, like we see all the time. We saw it with Dixie D'Amelio. She did that with her album, or, you know, or you could find someone who is worth your time. And obviously Tayler and Summer were not the right match for each other. So.
And I feel like she's just wasting this energy when there's probably someone standing right in front of her ready for her, and she's kind of wasting it on the past, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this will get her to look at it through a different lens. I think Tayler has been holding in how he's felt for a really long time.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys think Summer watched Taylor's video?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, how would she not? I don't know.
How could she not, right?
Well, guys, we want to hear what you're thinking about this whole situation. Do you think that, you know, it was right for Tayler to make this video? Do you ship Tayler and Charly together? And how do you think Summer is handling this situation? Let us know. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Zach Weinberg.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and keep it here on Hollywire for more of the Hollywire Tea Party Monday through Wednesday. Bye, you guys.
See you later.